Pastor OBED,
Pastor Daniel.
I can feel the rush of questions that are going on in the mind of somebody who's gotten married, has no clue about any of these things, to do spiritual inquisition into the kind of family you were going to marry into and all that, or even on the matter of the representatives that are coming to stand in on behalf of the family and the spiritual implications even on the marriage the person has entered into. And it makes the situation sadder to think of it that it was a practice that existed,
and we came into Christianity and we dropped that wisdom. You see, the problem is this: the Bible that we have, I never knew the traditions of Jesus Christ and what Jesus Christ was doing.
God have mercy.
If it wasn't for the sake of the disciples asking Jesus, Master, teach us to pray, we would have never gotten that. So the entire New Testament was hinged on questions and answers that came to Jesus. One of the things that they didn't ask him about. Now, ask yourself, how did Jesus go about on his daily living? What of Peter? What of the apostles? How were they living? Where do you find it in the New Testament? You will only know what it was like in Bible days if you read the Old. Close the Old Testament and you are just quoting verses, because all that you are seeing, it is either you are living in the stories of the happenings of Jesus by way of power. He healed this and did that and did that. Outside of that, the epistles of Paul. Outside of that, the Johannine writings, Peter, Jude, all connecting with the end times and end of days. And that is what the canonization gave to us. So you dump the old and you don't even understand the ordinances of our Christian faith. You don't understand cleansings, because the only thing that you will see is baptism. Because for them, they already knew in the Old Testament what baptism was. So they didn't take pains to go into it if you are going to read the whole Bible. But if you just read the New Testament, baptism, and all was in your mind was baptism, just putting water, coming out of water, and you don't understand washings in the old, you just don't get anything. So for you, it is just a physical ritual that we are just supposed to undertake, and that ends it. Why did Jesus say you are the salt of the earth? What did he mean by that? He just said it, but it's explained in the Old Testament.
Mercy.
Why did John the Baptist come baptizing people? What was the essence of his dipping? It is only explained in the Old Testament. It's a lifestyle in the Old Testament.
That means there must be a holistic perspective of the scriptures.
Everything. You must look at it from Genesis to Revelation throughout. Back to the question.
Man of God, on the kinds of spiritual marriage.
5 kinds of spiritual marriage.
What are they?
Witchcraft, cult, stools, family idols, and then ghosts.
So they are witchcraft, cults,
ghosts,
family
idols,
and stools.
And stools. 5 kinds. These are different from the contracts. It is either
The contracts are the terms. Okay.
That bind the witchcraft. So we could have witchcraft betrothals, witchcraft
cohabitation,
marriages, witchcraft cohabitation.
Okay.
And we could have witchcraft friendships.
Perfect.
We could also have cult friendships, cult cohabitation, cult betrothal, and cult marriages.
Okay. It's clear.
We could also have family idol friendships, family idol betrothal, family idol marriages,
yes,
just under the four contexts.
Okay.
We could have stool friendships,
All right.
stool betrothals, stool marriages,
Okay.
stool cohabitation.
Yes.
So we understand the contracts, the terms of the contract,
Yes.
but now the kinds.
Okay.
First of all, witchcraft spiritual marriage.
All right.
You see, I would have rather witchcraft spiritual spouse.
All right.
Or witchcraft spiritual partner.
Okay.
Because the moment you say spiritual marriage,
It limits it.
then it limits the cohabitation, the friendship, and the
But you're
betrothal
using
and
the
everything.
marriage in the generic
sense.
Okay.
Yes. In the generic sense.
Yes.
Now, whenever you look at witchcraft, first of all, before I bring up the scriptures, let me explain what exactly it is.
Yes.
One, maybe your father or your mother is a witch, or both of them are witches, or your father got involved with a witch and became a slave of that witch, or your mother got involved with a witch. Now, when we also use witch, we are talking about evil personalities in the flesh.
Okay.
So wizards, all of the range. So we are also using witchcraft
In the
generically. Okay. So back to it. There are various forms that it appears. Either your father is a witch, wizard, name it, or your mother is a witch, or they got involved with a witch
Okay.
and became slaves of that witch, or a witch likes you.
A witch?
Likes you as a friend.
Let's say like I'm at work or
Yes.
I'm in school,
Yes.
and there's somebody who is in my environment who is
Yes.
a witch,
Yes.
and the witch likes me.
He likes you.
I would come under
Yes.
a certain term.
Yes. Because of friendship.
Wow.
We already discussed that already. Because we are friends.
This thing can be serious.
It can be very serious. There was this situation of a lady who was going to get married, and always at the workplace, this gentleman will come up and say, "Oh, Mayere, my wife, my wife, my wife, my wife." There was no contract. So the day that the lady brought in the wedding invitation to go get married, and the gentleman ran cuckoos. He was crazy at work.
I mean, like the thing people who made.
Yes.
Away,
Oh, that's
little
my wife. That's my wife. That's my wife. If you are not in a typical safe environment where you know that the people around you are just playing spiritually, they are playing physically, and that they are right spiritually, then you have to be very careful, because that you have to please, you are not my husband, please, I don't like that, please stop that. You must also utter a word backward. Otherwise, you can have a very good witch as a friend.
So she brought her wedding invitation.
Yes.
And the gentleman was bored.
And on the day of their wedding, he went for the marriage, cast a sickness on the man, and from the day of their wedding, the man died 10 years afterwards. Never known peace. 10 years down the lane, never known peace, until the woman went for another prophetic meeting, and the man of God brought up the matter of how come the husband died and who was involved, and named this person at the workplace. And the lady confirmed that it was in those days that the guy was saying, "You are my wife, you are my wife." Witchcraft spiritual marriage. And under that, people are enslaved into blind witchcraft. They are just not spiritual marriage. They are initiated into blind witchcraft.
That's serious.
Very serious. You could have a soft one where the person only comes to sleep with you, but you could have a typical one where the person wants to keep you as his or her own forever and enslave you in a witchcraft coven. You are not a part of them. Probably you have to take our time off and also teach on blind witchcraft. Or people can just visit my channel and look at all that I have taught on Susumunsem on witchcraft. and the various kinds of witchcraft, blind witch, white witch, red witch, black witch, and all of that I had exposed in that series. But to stick with what I'm talking about, there is witchcraft spiritual marriage. Actually, under what is termed witchcraft spiritual marriage is simply you are married to a physical entity, a man or a woman here on earth, in a contractual spiritual covenant. So there is a physical man, not a spiritual being. You see, man is a spirit.
Yes.
So assuming me, I'm a spirit, but I am physical, Pastor Obed.
Yes.
And you are also a spirit.
Yes.
You are physical, Pastor Daniel.
Yes.
Then I marry you. I'm a human being.
Yes.
You are a human being.
Yes.
Then we get married.
Okay.
Spiritual marriage. So there are people who are actually spiritually married to a human being.
Okay.
So a person may be spiritually married to their father, who is alive, to their mother, who is alive, to their auntie, who is alive. A witch that is close to them.
So the witch is actually a physical human being.
Physical human being
Who has married another
who has
human
married
being
another physical human being
in the spirit.
in the spirit.
So there may be situations where a father
Yes.
may marry their own children
Yes.
because the father is a witch or a wizard.
Yes. And there are situations where a husband will marry his wife spiritually. Yes. Because he is interfering with the order of God. You see, he loves the woman so much that he loves her spiritually. And usually you would see the manifestation physically in extreme possession. Extreme. The possession is extreme. Because the person sees you as a tool. So the least thing will provoke such an anger. You'll be amazed. Because you are not only one flesh, you are also one spirit with the person. So the person owns you totally. That is where you begin to see the spirit of manipulation in marriages. There is no confidentiality whatsoever. We don't know that it is a type of witchcraft manipulation. There is no privacy to you. Everything is me, and I have to know it. And if I don't know it, I plague you. The whole world must come tumbling down because you are my own from spirit, soul, and body. Sad people will interfere with your worship of God because they are jealous that you are giving such an attention to God. Witchcraft spiritual marriage. They own you and they manipulate you. It's a spirit. There are even times the person physically doesn't know, but spiritually the person has pressed you under. There is no liberty. The person has married you spiritually. The person actually sees your service to God as a competition for his attention or her attention. There is a spiritual marriage over there. Either against your will or with your will. Against your permission or with your permission. The person decides when you pray. The person decides where you fellowship. The person decides how you fellowship. The person even can stop you from speaking in tongues, because the more you are doing that thing, the more you are weakening the covenant. And the person will be very excited and happy that you are far from God. The person is very happy when you are not into the spiritual, the things that make for your worship. The person will be very happy. Some of the times, the person who is married to you spiritually, who may be your spouse or your child or your father or your mother, is always happy if you are not doing anything spiritual. They are very happy because that your spiritual hot temperature is destroying something spiritually. It is a witchcraft spiritual marriage you are into.
God have mercy.
Pastor Obed, always a blessing.
I'm very excited to let you know that by the special grace of God, I put together a material on everything that I know on spiritual marriage. It is all about spiritual marriage. That is my latest book. It is not bragging. There is no book on earth like this book. I am not bragging. On the matter of spiritual marriage, nothing has been written. What has been particularly done is prayer topics. But to go into the matter, there is virtually no material apart from looking into the scriptures, the Bible.
Okay.
There is no material that exposes the kingdom of darkness on spiritual marriage.
All right.
As this book.
That means that there's a novel material
It's
that
a novel material.
you must get for yourself. You must get it for your friends. You must get it for your family members, your loved ones. Anyone that you know that is connected to you that is experiencing this plague in any dimension. This is a must-have. You should place in your order now. Wherever it is that you are around the various nations of the world, you can send in your WhatsApp message now. Make your WhatsApp call now. Call in 024-703-6136 and place your order.